Hello, everyone. I just want to say a few words about the second essay for the course. Um, Here, you simply need to choose one question and only answer one or two, not both. First choice about Jonas's the burden and blessing of mortality. Assess Jonas's reasons for thinking that mortality is a blessing. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that in this, if you choose to write on this, you're focusing on the blessing, or you're focusing on Jonas's reasons for characterizing mortality as a blessing. You're not giving an account of the essay as a whole. So you may, to clarify his reasoning, contrast it with his reasons for thinking that mortality is also a burden in the other sense. But the main thing you're doing here is assessing his reasons for thinking that mortality is a blessing. Do you find his claim convincing? Why or why not? So basically, you have to explain why he characterizes mortality in that specific sense, where you do have to say, well, I mean, he's talking about mortality in the sense of the inevitability of death, the must die, rather than the other sense. Do you find his claim convincing? Why or why not? So basically, you have to explain why he thinks mortality, the inevitability of death, is indeed a blessing. Something that we should be glad about. Glad, basically, that we're not immortal, and then assess whether you think he really argues that well. Remember that he offers different arguments. There's not one reason that he thinks mortality is a blessing. There are multiple reasons, and you just need to assess that reasoning as you see fit. Um, Remember, pay attention to the question. The question is essentially about the second sense of mortality, the blessing. Number two, existentialism claims that personal consciousness of death is necessary to, quote, live in truth. Why? Do you agree? Why or why not? So this is a little bit more open ended, because I think that the whole notion of what Gray means when he characterizes existentialism as saying that we want to live in truth. That's not quite clear, so you kind of have to make some interpretive decisions there. But essentially, you can see the gist of the question, and I think that is definitely there. That is, the existentialists claim that we have that death consciousness and a personal consciousness of death is an essential thing in living your life, and living your life in an authentic way, or living in truth. So you need to explain why anybody would say that, right? I mean, again, you're drawing on what you can from the essay itself, the thought of Jaspers or the thought of Heidegger or Gray's commentary, whatever it is that allows you to make that connection, or to give an account of why anybody would think that a consciousness of death is necessary to live a truthful life. You just have to make that, as you see fit. But then, do you agree with it? You evaluate the claim. Is it really, is a consciousness of death really a necessary thing to live in truth? Whatever that means. I mean, these essays have a similar structure. You have to give an account of what the author says, and then you have to give your own individual criticism and evaluation of the author's ideas.